one thing I know about Dave is the more you fight back, the harder he's the Chinese finger trap. The more you try to pull out of it, the tighter it gets.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to happen here.
All right, it's the rundown for Wednesday, November 6th, brought to you by JackPocket. Order lottery tickets right now from your phone with JackPocket, America's #1 lottery app. You can order Powerball, Mega Millions, and other state lottery games right now on the app. Best of all, new customers get your first lottery ticket free using our code Barstool. Download JackPocket now. Don't forget to use the code Barstool, all caps Barstool. JackPocket, America's #1 lottery app and the official partner of Barstool Sports. It's myself, it's Eddie, it's Clem, it's the Good Vibes crew with Jersey Jerry, because last night, Jersey Jerry, I believe, was the first one to call the election for Donald Trump. He had a live stream with Big T. It was a tremendous stream. Jersey Jerry, how you doing?
Robbie, not only the first person to call the election, I mean, I called 4 swing states before they were even announced. I mean, right off the bat, I was just like cooking the whole way. I announced North Carolina early, Pennsylvania early, Wisconsin, Michigan. I was calling them all. I was hot. Big T, great performance from him. So it was a great stream. I was worried, Robbie, very worried. I've never worked with Big T before, ever. So it was kind of awkward. Like, you know, we talk, but we're not like close friends and whatnot. And you know, when the higher ups has said it was a go, you know, my producer Lucas made a decision to bring on Big T, and it just worked out.
What was the strategy when it came to calling the states? What put you so ahead of the other correspondents, the analysts?
I think it was the early red wave. Once you see that red wave early, you just know. And once he was leading the popular vote by so much, it was like, how are these states not gonna go red? It's just no way.
Jerry, question from me. It seems like calling a state, especially a swing state that is, you know, in a very big election, seems like you get a nice rush out of that. How were you able to pump the brakes and not call basically all 50 states by, you know, 9 p.m. Central? Because that's something I feel like I get addicted to. And then we're calling it, you know, job's done. We go home and we're home by like late supper, if you may. And how were you able to like cage the animal there? Because I feel like you were starting to feel yourself after you were, you know, proven right. I just saw Michigan got called right before we joined this call at like 1 p.m. Eastern time. So yeah, they're 12 hours behind, 14 hours behind Jerry right now.
Clem, listen, it was tough. It was tough. I had to control myself for a little bit, but you know, it's that rush that I used to get. And it was just like the crack rush when I was smoking crack. I felt that same feeling, but I'm glad I felt that sober. But Pennsylvania was the weird one, which I was worried about because there was a caller that called into the show and he was like, hey, just a heads up. And it was tight. When I called it, it was like he was only up by like 0.1, 0.2 at the time. So the caller called in and he's like, hey, there's going to be a big dump, just a heads up. And I'm saying to myself, this guy might be right. I mean, they can just bring in 2, 3, 400,000 of ballots and we can just flip right away. But luckily, you know, I was right. And, you know, hopefully JNN gets the respect it deserves, you know, to the national media, because legacy media, it's dead.
Muerte. And Jerry, I just want to say, like, there's a chance, let's be honest, the media, it's a copycat game, just like the NFL. We might see more former crack addicts become, you know, anchors during these election coverages because of that rush.
100%. You know, you feel it. It's that fuzzy feeling inside, and I wouldn't be surprised. Look, I mean, maybe Biden's son gets to do something like this.
The unlikely duo of a crack addict from New Jersey and a guy who sang in a van from Tennessee.
Yeah, exactly, Eddie. Exactly.
Never saw it coming.
Oh, yeah. I got to appreciate it too. Like, you know, you just saw the clips and you watched it. And like, you guys broke down what the electoral college was. It's not an actual college. You explained what swing states are. And you kept it like, everyone forgets the old Barstool slogan was for the common man, by the common man. And you kind of just like, let's be honest here. We watch these, no matter what side or channel you're watching, you're swimming at this point because they're throwing throwing maps at you. They're talking counties, shit I've never heard of.
Yeah.
And you're just being like, no, the Electoral College is not a place you can visit. It's actually a group of electors. And you explain what an elector was. I appreciate that as someone with maybe a lower IQ than most of the people that follow politics for a living. So thank you and Big T for doing a great job breaking everything down.
Yeah, and the crazy part too was I wasn't even expecting this, but there was a lot of people on the left that messaged me last night and today was like, hey, obviously I know your stance on politics and whatnot. Obviously I'm on the other side, but you guys did a great job last night. I thought it was really, really well run, and we would love to see it again. So that was like, oh wow, that's pretty cool coming from the left.
Has a seed been
4
planted?
years,
Maybe
we'll run it back.
a treat. The Jersey News, the JNN. Like, could this become a thing? We talked about the BNN Barstool News Network being a thing before our lead anchor became like a golf YouTube sensation, right? And got sick of blogging about genocides every day. Could this be a potential future for Jerry After Dark, where it's like they're going to think the guy who went viral for the golf stuff, actually, that's how he became like the modern day Walter Cronkite? You never know, right?
Oh, maybe it's the opposite. You're right, with Riggs and starting out with politics, flipping to golf. I started out with the golf, flipping to politics. I mean, that could be a possibility. I don't know what it looks like. I don't know if we just do this maybe once every 4 years or what, but we talked, before we started recording with Nate, and maybe, I don't know, we have a once a week type of thing where we go over just basic news, maybe smaller elections and whatnot, governors and stuff like that, but who knows? We'll see.
You are playing with fire. I will say I was very impressed by your ability to do a Barstool Sports election stream and have seemingly no canceled controversial moments like that. I feel like the longer you go, the longer that the odds go down for that. The odds go up, or rather.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, last night I thought that was very impressive that you guys did a stream that, like you said, everyone, no matter what side of the fence they were on, they were like, hey, they called it fair.
Yeah, and for sure. And also we had I don't know if you guys seen it, but we had that meter on screen, and my producer Lucas did a fabulous job. If we were getting too right, he would say you bring it back down. And that's when we started to swing it left. We started praising Kamala Harris, for the effort she showed last night, So we did a good job on both sides, and I would love to do it again.
I'm just going to make one suggestion as someone that, would love to see the JNN grow. I don't know if there was a dump button. The man who has a dump button just for himself, be very careful if you ever bring him on during live streaming coverage, especially with political issues. I don't want to say his name. We all know his name, though.
Yeah, we all know his name. I will make this statement. If the Jerry News Network is a thing in the future, that man would never be allowed on, ever.
The higher-ups need to hear that, Jerry. I think the higher-ups need to hear that before they greenlight anything.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Jerry. Thank you. Great show last night.
Thank you.
We all enjoyed it. And that man we're talking about, maybe you'll see that man in Oxford at Pup Punk on Friday night. I've been hearing rumors about that man and crowd surfing, stage diving. I've been hearing the rumors.
Oh, yeah. Hey, thanks for having me on, guys.
Take care, Jerry.
All right. Thanks, Jerry. Now I feel like we should talk about the big news of last night. It was the diss track dropped by Josh Richards and Dave Portnoy on Zach Bryan. Dropped it right on his 5'5" head. And my God, they came down with a hammer on him. This is a diss track I think a lot better than anyone could have expected. It's I brought up Pup Punk. People come into Pup Punk shows with low expectations. We're decent. We blow them out of the water. This one it could be on the radio. It was on the radio this morning. I saw DJs playing it. Hook sounds like it could be a little Nas X or something. Dave's flow of the century, always timeless. Everyone loves it. Josh Richards sounds like a real rapper on it. What were your guys' take? We could start with you, Clem, on Smallest Man.
So hand up, the whole saga, the Zach Bryan saga, if you want to have it Barstool, from the good times to now the bad. I am so lost with this stuff, man. There's a lot of Zachs in the country world now. There's a lot of Zachs with double first names, and then there's just a lot of double first name artists. So I was never quite sure who this guy. Now this is the guy who got arrested, right? He got arrested. He had the mugshot.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. And then obviously we had all the Brianna stuff. I mean, what is there to say? Page Views do it again, or did Page Views do it again? Another absolute smash hit. Nate made a very good point too. With Barstool, it's not just the moment and the piece of content that's going crazy. It's the fallout and then what comes out of the fallout. And there is a chance that, like, the little domino to big domino, Zach Bryan starts dating Brianna Chicken Fry to like massive music company reforms occur because Dave seems to be getting censored. They're taking stuff off of the streaming apps. They're deleting. They're claiming copyrights. And then one thing I know about Dave is the more you fight back, the harder he's the Chinese finger trap. The more you try to pull out of it, the tighter it gets. And that's what's going to happen here. So like, I guess Warner Music is like the new, like, whoever you want to call it, Cheese Boy, who was the dude at ESPN that he hated?
Ponder?
No, Ponder as
Oh,
well.
no, the Skipper,
John Skipper. I mean, I feel like there might be a champagne bottle already for Warner Music, so I feel like we're going to have a very slippery slope or a very interesting saga unfolding. I feel like we're still in the beginning of this war. So just like I'm excited to see it happen, but I'm also more excited to see what happens next. And of course, we have our name show tomorrow, so I'm sure this will all get dredged back up and see where it goes from there. What about you, Ed?
Yeah, listen, Robbie said it. It was catchy. Good call. It did have like a little bit of a little Nas X kind of hook. The hook was catchy, and I think that's crucial in making a diss track, right? Like that's why Not Like Us took off so much, in my opinion. Yeah, it was very, very inflammatory remarks about Drake, but still, it's a good beat and it's a good song, right? And so they did a good job with that. And it was also perfectly Dave that his mustache was just not on fully because he can't open a pizza box.
Yep.
That's it.
Yeah, the music video is great too. Shout out Austin. Shout out everyone that was involved in like putting that together because they did it in like a 24-hour time period. I know here at the office, Rowan obviously worked on it. Jet Ski worked on it. Nick Hamilton worked on it. It was a group effort to ether one man, and they did it. He is completely, I mean, he's in the ground at this point. Zach Bryan, unfortunately, he's clawing his way back out with the lawsuits and whatnot, but he's in the ground after that one. The college football bracket, everyone's freaking out over the bracket. First time there's ever a 12-team playoff, right, in college football. Am I right about that? This is not my lane at all, but I'll let you guys talk about it.
Yeah, you're correct, Robbie. The first time they dropped the 12-team bracket, and it was beautiful. It was beautiful to see. Even the first 4-team one, there's something exciting about it. See the first two left out, but to see just more schools added into the mix was awesome. Granted, I did laugh at the fact of like, all right, added all these teams. It's cool to have more horse in the race, but are we still going to end up with Ohio State, Oregon, Texas, and I'm fucking blanking out. Georgia.
Georgia?
Sorry. Georgia. Like, are we just gonna end up with the same four and be the same way again? But who knows? Maybe BYU, they're undefeated. Maybe they throw a wrench in the mix. Maybe Indiana keeps that fucking streak rolling. It was awesome. It was great to see, and it made me even more fired up for this playoff run.
Yeah, I'm with you, Ed. As someone that has like, I'll always have a little bit of hate in my heart for college football because they are the reason the original Big East basketball conference, the way it was in the 90s, died. I always have rooted for the chaos, Final Four or whatever to come up and people getting mad at computers and BCS rankings and all this kind of stuff. This takes care of a lot of that, and it just looks beautiful. There's just something beautiful. And the fact that the first game will be at the home stadium, and then you have the original, like the big bowls for the quarterfinals. It is kind of funny though to see like the rankings of these teams, like BYU's 9, but they're the 4 seed. I understand that's just the way the playoff works. But yeah, more playoff games, the better. That goes for any sport basically ever, right? It's like we all hated adding more wild card teams to baseball, and then Pete Alonso's home run comes out of that round, and you just get a lot of cool shit. Two things I thought. One, I'm an Army guy. Team of the Hudson Valley. I'm a Hudson Valley man. Didn't like seeing them all the way down, I believe, at 25 in these rankings. Love to see them come up. We'll see if they can. I think they have to probably beat Notre Dame and Navy twice to even sniff that. And also, there was a lot of you had the political back and forth, and then you add in the college football banter of everyone arguing about stuff. I think this has to be every election night. They have to do this, even though like next year's election night won't have the same poll because it won't be a presidential race. We need to do this every election night. Just get anger online, just spewing at each other. Diss tracks. Yeah, it was the night of hate last night. Looking back, it was the night of ether.
It was.
So it was kind of beautiful in a very sick and twisted way. I mean, we're children of the internet at this point. This is just another fucking Tuesday for us, but it was beautiful to see it all play out the way it did.
Let's tell everyone about NASCAR as well. The adrenaline of the Daytona 500 is something you have to experience in person. There's nothing like witnessing the stars of NASCAR battle for position, going 200 miles per hour on this 2.5-mile speedway. 40 drivers will compete amongst the likes of Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney, Denny Hamlin, Ross Chastain, Bubba Wallace, who I saw that he has like a Darth Vader car now. He did a whole commercial with Hayden Christensen and stuff. Awesome stuff. They will try to make their mark to start a historic NASCAR season again at the Daytona 500. Once in a lifetime sporting event you don't want to miss. Purchase your tickets today for the Daytona 500 at Daytona500.com. I've heard amazing things from everyone at Barstool that's done these NASCAR trips. I got to get out to one. Clem, I know you did one. Eddie, I know you've been on them. I got to get out on the track.
Daytona rocks. Couldn't recommend it more. It was a fun time, fun city, and just the pure awe I had of that track is worth it in every sense. So go check it out if you have the opportunity.
We got this topic from Jordy. This was something that Jordy blogged. A senior amateur hockey player beats the wheels off of an idiot fan who decides to follow him into the locker room. It really is an idiot fan move. This guy is taunting him. He follows him down the hallway. What do you think is going to happen? I mean, I assume the fan is drunk and he's not thinking rationally, obviously. But it's a hockey player. That's the last guy you want to follow into the locker room, other than maybe like a UFC fighter. These are guys that are allowed to fight on the ice. They fight in the. It's like, what are you thinking? Of course he got his ass kicked. Clem?
I think the last time I was in the rundown, or one of the previous times, it was the fan who stormed the field and got absolutely fucking truck stick to next week by someone. And it was like, yeah, Big Cat has always said you should be allowed to hit one fan per year if like they're taunting you or talking shit. This guy got his in amateur level up, especially like amateur hockey level. It's like just me and Rob could join a fucking amateur hockey league. Me, Eddie, and Robbie go to and it kind of goes back to almost with, I don't know if this has always been the case or now that everyone has phones and cameras, you could see more. This kind of goes back to like the Jason Kelsey video. More people just need to get their ass kicked now because it's like, I feel like the internet has kind of made people just feel invincible. You could just be an anonymous troll, talk shit to people, yell shit at people, but to actually go say something to someone's face and you get fucking mollywopped. I fucking loved it. Give me more of this shit every single time. And maybe, just maybe one day, we'll be in a little bit more civil of a society if we have things like that happen. So that's my 2 cents on the take, at least.
Eddie?
Yeah, that was kind of where I was coming from too. Like, people, do they just not realize that a lot of stuff just doesn't go down because, say, at a professional or even a minor league level, it's on TV, or even just an amateur level, there's just people around. If you go into somewhere that's especially the comfort of someone's locker room and you try to talk shit, you're probably going to get hit in the face. So I don't know where these people are from to not realize that this is a possibility, but I'm in a strange way, I'm happy that people are starting to kind of get served what they're putting into these whole conflicts to start them up in the first place. So that's where I'm at.
We got anything after show wise? I mean, I mentioned Pup Punk is going to be at Ole Miss this weekend. We're doing like a Barstool Ole Miss takeover Friday night. Pup Punk's playing the Library. Saturday afternoon, they're doing the college football show from there. So that'll be fun. I'm excited for that. I've never been to Ole Miss before.
I just have one thing
after show wise.
I just have one thing just based off the election. So everyone sucks Scott Hansen's dick for red zone, and he compared himself to being like a sniper and whatever. He does a great job, and red zone's awesome. But we need to put some respect on these people that are running these maps on election day. The fact that these motherfuckers know who's in what county, what the Latino vote is, who voted this way, last way. Erie's been the spot that people know if you win Erie, you're winning the election. Those people are maybe some of the most impressive people we have in this country.
I could not agree more. I said it last night. I said it to my fiance. I was like, does this guy just know every county in the United States and how they vote historically? And like, it was blowing my mind. They're savants with like geography. It's just like, you need like a KB type mind, I think, to do that job. It's crazy. Really, it impressed the hell out of me.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you do need that.
Man, I think we just got the newest correspondent for JNN, KB, on that show.
KB on the geography, yeah.
You get the wonton Don
too. Like he could put Jerry in a mental pretzel. He could put any of us in a mental pretzel on the desk. So like, I'm down for that. Yes, KB
Yeah.
on the JNN
Oh, that
or
sounds
JJN.
tremendous. JNN. Jerry News
JNN.
Network. Yeah, I was in the same.
Yes.
I was putting myself in a pretzel earlier, trying to just put out the letters. The only other thing I'll say about the election is I wrote a tweet about it, Robbie. We talked about it on my mom's base real quick. I'm just so happy those commercials are done with now. My kids have gotten to the point where they were telling me who they were going to vote for president based on this person or that person. And it wasn't even people that were running for president. It was like our local councilmen, but their ads were so mean towards each other. She's like, my 6-year-old goes, Dad, one guy has a garbage truck full of money. And the other guy wants to release violent criminals to the street. And I'm like, whoa, buddy. Like, what are we talking about here? And God's honest truth. I'm not trying to, Ruth Conda forever or anything like that. But that's what happened because the Mets were on at 5 o'clock during the playoffs. So they would run the ads every fucking commercial break, as you guys know. And then on YouTube, like you think, all right, like at least maybe like the Fortnite YouTubes, they won't like throw political ads on. They can maybe put a block for that, to somewhat restrict it. Nope. Anything these kids watch, even if it's like kids content, I think we need to block these political ads from like stuff that kids can be watching. You want to throw it on baseball? Let's do it like 7th inning on, maybe. If your kid's up past 10, you don't really give a fuck what's going into their brain anyway, let's be honest, because they're going to be crazy for like 3 days after that because of sleep deprivation. But these political ads, get the fuck off my screen. I cannot wait. The mailings are going to stop. I won't get mail anymore. It's going to be a beautiful thing. So I think
texts,
yes, America can unite now around no fucking annoying political stuff going into our ears and eyes anymore.
The thought of Clem getting Ruth Conda'd forever is incredible.
Yeah. I said it on my mom's basement. His kids think they live in like Gotham City based on the ad. They're like, they're releasing all criminals? What?
And mind you, that same kid was off for election day, which is my other stance I'll take real quickly. You want my vote? Tell me you're going to make kids start going back to school during election day. When we were kids, people voted at schools. That's why I think they had to go home. There's no voting at schools anymore. They're done at like town hall. I don't know if that's the case across the board, but my kids were home with school and it was like the worst day of my life. And I'm just fucking trying to work, trying to do this, trying to do that. I took them to the car wash just to burn like 10 minutes out of the time. Plus the car was dirty. AJ tried to open the window during the car wash. It got like a quarter of the way down and I went back up and I was like, 10 out of 10 dad fury came out. And I'm just like, get this day over with as soon as possible. A lot of people thought that because of like the voting. I was thinking that just because like I needed my wife to get home and watch the kids. So,
the car wash. Yeah.
The car wash. Oh, also,
all right.
You talked about it, Bob, real quick. Our boy Eddie, truth be told, we both had the Kelsey mix in our house for a couple of weeks, looking to do a Snack Boys review on it. Never worked out just because of travel. The Mets kind of pushed a lot of our Snack Boys recordings back a little bit. So he had Bruce Arians on, true football guy, to talk about the Kelsey mix, which is the cereal, which is what? Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Lucky Charms, and Reese's Puffs. 3 elite cereals right there. And there's no one I'd want to review in my place more than Bruce, i.e. Paint Arians. So absolute legend. Check out the review on the Snack Boys channels now.
Good call.
There you go. Check it out. That's the rundown for Wednesday, November 6th. We'll see you tomorrow.
Good vibes, boys.